I love it. I freaking love it. More controversial content. Ranking NFL quarterbacks on a tier list. Let's get into it. Already know I'm gonna have a million people in the comment section below roasting me, telling me how stupid I am because I did not make their quarterback an elite tier quarterback. But man, if you get mad because of an individual you don't even personally know didn't rank your favorite team's quarterback that you don't even know yourself personally as the best player in the world, if you get mad at that, mad enough to want to go angrily in the comment section below and throw some mean slurs at me, you need to go and get your testosterone levels checked. Now with that said, let's get into this. We have elite, borderline elite, above average, average replacement level, below replacement level, and unknown. Which kind of confuses me because obviously the rookie quarterbacks on this list are gonna be unknown, but like, I kind of want to project them. So for the rookie quarterbacks, the only ones I'm gonna do it for, the rookie quarterbacks, I'm gonna project how I think their next 3 years are gonna go, where they're gonna go 3 years from now. So like if you see Joe Burrow, just for example, borderline elite, and then you see like, I don't know, freaking Big Ben at average, like, it's not like I'm saying Joe Burrow, like because obviously the rookies are unknown, but like you get the point. First of all, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, we start off with a freaking banger. So what, like these are obviously, I believe, all 32 quarterbacks that are projected to be the starters. I don't even think Tua is on here. How many quarterbacks are on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 36, 35 QBs. So I'm guessing it's the 32 projected starters plus a few rookies. I did math really quick. Dog, I am physics. Now, with that said, Aaron Rodgers, 3 years ago, elite. Aaron Rodgers now, borderline elite. Barely. I mean, he still makes some crazy freaking throws, but it's tough. He's so good. But with the quarterbacks that we're going to put, the only reason he's not elite is because I can't actually put him in the elite tier with some of the quarterbacks that I'm going to put in the elite tier. Like, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, let's go ahead and already freaking do it. Where's he at? Where's goddamn Patrick? Patrick Mahomes is obviously elite tier. I don't feel right putting Aaron Rodgers in the same tier as Patrick Mahomes right now. Hence why I'm having him at borderline elite. Still a great quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quality quarterback, just not the same level as Patrick Mahomes right now. There might be 2-3 quarterbacks up here. Next, we have Baker Mayfield. That is tough. A lot of people probably have him down here. I think he's above average. I do think Baker Mayfield's above average. I think he's got a little unlucky last few years having so many different head coaches, offensive coordinators, but he has the talent to be, I think, to be a borderline elite by the end of this year. He's had a down year last year, down year from his rookie season. I still think he's a quality quarterback. Just give him some consistency for a few years, and he could be up here. Like, maybe, we'll go above average. Next, we have Big Ben. Dog, I have no clue. Big Ben, when he's on, like, he's even here, even though he's like 95 years old now. But I feel like I could put him here, but just because, dog, he's like hardly played, like 2 years it feels like. I would put him at average. He's obviously like freaking come in, and he's gonna be so much better than what Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges was last year. But at the same time, I can't put him up here because you just don't know what he's gonna do. That's probably gonna trigger so many freaking Steelers fans. Carson Wentz, I'm gonna put him above average. Now this is gonna trigger so many freaking people, especially Eagles fans is gonna trigger. I'm not gonna say it. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I think Carson Wentz is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. That doesn't mean he's not good. He is a quality quarterback. But when I hear people thinking, like saying he is one of the best quarterbacks, like a top 3 quarterback in the league, you are dumb. So that's what I mean by overrated. Like, he's so weird. Like, he's like, either people think he's like a bottom 10 quarterback, or they think he's like a top 2. Like, it's weird. I still think he's good, but I still at the same time think he's overrated. But I still, like, with him, me thinking he's overrated, I still think he's like above average, but I just don't think he's on like an Aaron Rodgers level. Next, Dak Prescott. Once again, I think he's above average. This video is gonna have a goddamn 10,000 dislikes. I do once again think kind of like Carson Wentz, he's a little bit overrated, like not worth the contract I think that he's gonna end up getting. But doesn't mean he's bad. It means he's good. Like, would I rather have him than Ryan Tannehill? Long term, yeah. But I still think above average. Next, we have Daniel Jones. I think it's too early to tell. I would say too early to say replacement level, but I think I'm gonna put him at average. But he's probably going to be, at the end of the day, lower tier or a lower part of average. Next, we have Derek Carr. Once again, I don't think Derek Carr is awful. I think he gets too much slack, more than what he deserves. I don't think he's great, but is he replacement level? I think if he has another, if this year isn't above average, if this year isn't a really good year for Derek Carr, I think that's when he can finally start putting him down here. But I still think putting him at replacement level is a little harsh. Once again, kind of like Daniel Jones, they're more going to be at the bottom tier of this, but I think he's average. He's an average QB. Now, Deshaun Watson, tough. At first I was going to put him upper above, but I think he's borderline elite. Like, I think he'll be lower at the end of this, be lower borderline elite, but the throws he makes, some of the plays he makes, yeah, I think he still throws too many interceptions, makes some questionable throws at times, but still, and we're going to be really able to tell this year without a guy like DeAndre Hopkins on his team, but I still think he has potential to be a top 5 QB in the league. He's super good, so like he's borderline elite. That might be, at the end of the video, one of the more questionable ones, but I do think he's borderline elite. Drew Brees, once again, I don't think no longer elite, but he's still a top 5 quarterback in my eyes. Like, he's still going to put up some insane numbers. Like, maybe it's going to be because of the talent around him, but still, it's Drew Brees. He's solid. He's definitely, like, I can't put him up here. I just can't anymore, but still, I would be glad to have him as my quarterback. Still, like, literally what this should be is very capable Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. These guys have the potential, but like, this should be like very, very capable of winning a Super Bowl. Next, we have Drew Lock. I'm going to put him unknown. Like, I don't feel right putting him at average because he could be better than above average or average, but he could be replacement level too. Like, we get to see like quite a bit, but I still don't know. Same thing with Dwayne Haskins. Although I do feel like Dwayne Haskins, I'm about to put him here, but once again, we don't know enough. We don't know enough. Like, I think this is going to be my scapegoat to like have less people hate me instead of putting him here. We don't know yet. We don't know. Next, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I do feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick, honestly, is one of the most undervalued and underrated quarterbacks in the league. The talent that he had, and he had this team freaking win 5 games last year, dog. He should have got MVP votes. Like, that's insane. Like, I know a lot of people would have him here, but I do think he is an average QB. Sometimes he plays up here. Sometimes he plays below replacement level, but we'll have him average for now. Gardner Minshew, once again, like, nothing crazy, but I mean, he played at a decent level last year. I mean, maybe you could even say he's here, but I think we know more about him than Drew Lock and Dwayne Haskins by now. I don't think he's been anything crazy, maybe in a few years, but right now I don't feel comfortable putting him anywhere but average. Next, we have Jared Goff. Oh, I'm not a big fan. He's going to be so close to above average, but this is probably make so many people mad, but I genuinely am not a big fan of Jared Goff. Average. I'm not even going to say anything. Like, Jared Stidham, dog, I don't know. Nobody knows. Do I do a projection thing? No, because we just don't know. He probably won't even start this year. Jimmy G, once again, I think he's average. I'm going to have so many QBs and some people mad. I don't care. Like, he's good. Like, he's probably upper average, but, like, he's not done anything crazy, like, at all. So, average. Now we have Joe Burrow. I think he is going to be... This is tough. Like I said, for the rookies, this is not what I think they're going to be immediately, but just 3 years down the line, I think he's going to be good. I don't think Joe Burrow is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I think 3 years from now, I think he's kind of more like Aaron Rodgers. 3 years in, he's going to be good. Give him an extra few years after that, he could make his way up here. I think he's definitely above average. He's going to be an above average quarterback throughout his career, but has the potential to move up. You know what? I'm going to say the same exact thing about Tua. Like, I think both these guys could have very successful NFL careers and even both end up here. But I think they're both going to take some time. I don't think they'll be like Patrick Mahomes in his 3rd year turning to God. Like, who does that? Patrick Mahomes does that. But once again, I think they have the potential to move up here, but I think they're going to be good, at least. Now, is that Jordan Love? I'm not a big fan of Jordan Love. Like, once again, I'm projecting this. This isn't right away. But, this is where I'm going to get roasted. But at the same time, let me bring my thought process here. So, when evaluating talent for the NFL draft and translating from college level to the NFL level, a big knock you have on prospects when they play in the, like, outside of the Power 5 conferences in college football is you have to be very careful in terms of the competition they played against. And when you're at a level like Utah State, which isn't like bottom FBS, but they're like mid-tier FBS. Utah State in the Mountain West, the group of 5 conferences, about mid-tier group of 5. If you're gonna be playing against talent like that, you've got to ball out. You've got to show out. I know he had a really, really good season a year ago before last season, but even if you don't have good wide receivers, you've got to put up better numbers than what Jordan Love did. You've got to throw more than, like, what was it, 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He ended up with like 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Like, I just don't see how you can waste a high draft pick like that on a guy that threw 15 interceptions, 2 less interceptions than he did touchdowns at Utah State against the competition they played against. If you're going to be successful in the NFL against professional athletes, every single player out there is a professional athlete, you've got to freaking be able to perform on your own, even if you have to, against talent that Utah State played against on a week-to-week basis. So that's I could be completely freaking wrong. But logically speaking, I just don't see how he could have they wanted him to be Patrick Mahomes, dog. I would be glad, like, if I'm a Packers fan, dog, I'm glad if he's a freaking Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know. Obviously he has the tools, but, like, no, I don't think so. Even Josh Allen, even though he went through for, like, 18 touchdowns a while, he only threw 6 picks. He hit 15. I think he's average. I don't think he's ever going to get above average in his career. I don't think he's ever going to go down here. I think he's just going to be an inaccurate quarterback that can run the football and be consistent in that, which will still make the offense productive. But, like, I don't see him being anything other than average. Now, Justin Herbert, once again, I'm not a fan. Now, this could be my biggest miss on today's video, but I just don't think he's gonna be good. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I just didn't like the way he played. From the games I watched, I just didn't see a guy that's, like, wowed me. I didn't see it. Like, if you're gonna be a good freaking NFL quarterback, I feel like I'd have to watch you in college and be like, wow. I just wasn't. Like, there's nothing about Justin Herbert that wows me. He's athletic, but that's about, like, his arm doesn't wow me, his accuracy doesn't wow me, nothing really wows me about him. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Who am I, dude? I call myself the Madden scientist. Like, what am I? Kirk Cousins, once again, man, like, I don't see him above average. Like, I would not be happy if my Titans signed Kirk Cousins. So, like, what does that say about Kirk Cousins? I don't know. I've just never been a huge Kirk Cousins fan. He's a guy that could win you a Super Bowl, but he's not, like, he's just not up here, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, Kyler Murray, I think maybe it's too early, but just with how dynamic an athlete he is and how successful he was last year with the very little talent that he had, dog, I'm excited to see how he does with DeAndre Hopkins this year. I am so excited. And to have Kenyon Drake for a full year, like, maybe I'm overrating him a little bit. Maybe he should be above, like, kind of at the top of average. But why not put Kyler Murray in above average? Next, we have Lamar Jackson. Give me one more year. Show me one more year that he can be healthy. And already, he's up here, like, at top of borderline. Like, he's like, I was about to say something about coming and being close to coming, but I already said it, so why don't I keep saying it? Coming. Like, he's close to coming and being elite tier, but something happened and the load didn't come out. So, yeah, dog, what am I doing? So, borderline elite, like, give me one more year. Give me one more year of 80% of what you did last year, and you'll be up here. You'll be up here in the league. And that's even hard for me to put them down here right now. But just give me one more year, sort of close to last year, and you'll be elite. That's so hard for me to do. Matthew Stafford, I believe he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. He's not borderline elite right now. I don't know how to feel because he was hurt all last year. But when he's healthy, he's here. I do believe. And don't even do this. You know what? F it. People are going to be mad regardless. Matthew Stafford, underrated, I believe. One of the best arms in the league. Borderline elite. And Matt Ryan, once again, I think he's borderline elite too. I think he's also very underrated. Like, he just performs. Like, he's had some down years, but, like, for the most part, the guy puts up crazy numbers. Like, the Falcons, like, their defense has always freaking sucked. Like, so, I mean, I think Matt Ryan's a little undervalued, a little underrated. So I do think he's borderline elite. Next, now I do think there's a pretty big gap in, like, these two guys and the rest, which kind of makes me want to put them up there. But at the same time, I do think he's borderline elite, maybe lower. But these two guys are definitely lower of the borderline elite, but still, I would consider them borderline elite. Next, we have Phillip Rivers. I think he's just average now. I don't think he's anything crazy. I think he might throw a lot of touchdowns in Indianapolis, but at the same time, he's probably going to throw for 20-something interceptions. I think he's definitely, like, at the end of his career. I'm more confident in Tom Brady having a huge season than Phillip Rivers. So, I don't know. I think he's just average. Now, Russell Wilson, he's elite. Like, if we're being completely honest, first 2-3 years he had success, I thought he was good, but I didn't buy into the hype that he's one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the league. He's just proved me wrong. He carries that offense. He carries that team. He's so efficient. He just makes plays. He's ridiculous. He's one of the few. I don't even know. They might be the only 2 elite quarterbacks I have on this list. But he's just, I mean, there's nothing else to say. He's just freaking incredible. And Ryan Tannehill, I want to put him here. And then I know people are going to, like, call me, like, biased. So that's why I kind of want to put him down here. But then, to be fair, he had one, like, insane year. Like, if he has a full season this year, like he did last year, bite me. I'm going to put him up here because that is, like, the numbers that he put up last year were mental. Yeah, I know he didn't do much in the playoffs. He didn't have to. But, like, just he's average. I will go as far as saying he's upper average right here. I'd even take him over a Jared Goff. I'd take him over a Kirk Cousins right now. But at the same time, I understand he had 1 year where he did insane, and the rest of his career in Miami, maybe it was Miami bringing him down, but it was just a little lackluster. But at the same time, I wouldn't say he's down here. I wouldn't say he's lower average. Once again, he's kind of like the Cummins situation, but I'm not going to say it again and risk of being, like, demonetized. But Ryan Tannehill, upper of average. Sam Darnold, lower average. I'm not buying into the hype. Like, I don't think he's going to be anything special. Like, you can't watch the game he had against the Patriots last year and even have hope that he's going to turn into an elite quarterback. So, I mean, he's not awful. Like, I'm doing a really bad job. Okay, so you know what? Mitch Trubisky, I think he's replacement level. Might be the only QB on here. Nah. I think Tyrod Taylor, like, he could be average, but I feel like, obviously, if you're going to draft a quarterback like Justin Herbert, who I don't even think is going to be good, I think the Chargers are kind of screwed. Both these guys, I don't think they're going to be good. I mean, Tyrod had a few good years in Buffalo, but does he have anything left in him? Now, Teddy Bridgewater, I am the biggest Teddy Bridgewater fan in the entire freaking world, dude. I love this guy coming out of Louisville. The game he played against Florida, even though I think Louisville ended up losing that game, it's one of the best games I've ever seen a QB play. I've never seen a QB get hit so many times, take so many huge hits, but still make the throws. He's one of the toughest QBs I've seen, dude. I wish the best and genuinely do believe Carolina's going to surprise some people this year. Teddy B in CMC with DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, they're going to have an insane year. I think Teddy Bridgewater is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. Like, I think he's poised to have a huge year. Like, call me a Teddy B, like, sucker. I literally want to... But at the same time, maybe I do. He's just really good. Last but not least, Tom Brady. I don't think... I can't do it. Just with the subpar numbers last few years, I can't put him elite. So it is going to leave us with only Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson as the 2 elite quarterbacks. Maybe, I mean, if Russell... I mean, I don't know. Tom Brady, he could put up elite numbers this year because of the offense that he has. And maybe even if he does that, even though it's part because of the offense that he has around him, maybe then I put him elite. And then maybe he comes into question. Maybe the reason he sucked last year, the year before, because his weapons around him sucked. But, like, to be a borderline elite at this point of his career, not, like, he's right up here. I think it's, like, it's the top 5 guys here, and then a huge drop-off between them, but I still consider Matt Ryan as Matt Stafford borderline elite. But, like, to be however old he is, 103, and still considered a borderline elite quarterback is testament to why he's the greatest quarterback of all time. So that's my QB tier list. Go ahead and dislike the video and scream at me in the comment section below. I'm not going to read them, so don't waste your freaking time.